You've invested in that relationship, just like in human relationships of non-business types.
Yeah.
Then you've raised the bar of how much people will tolerate when inevitably every now and again something does go wrong.
Meeting the need is not enough. 4 out of 5 is not enough to actually meet the need, or you need to be hitting those 5 out of 5s across whatever metric you're looking at.
This isn't about cheapest cost or the quickest to quote or the fast delivery. This is about building a community around a message.
Yeah. Are customers growing through their involvement with you? How are you helping them achieve outcomes? How are you helping them grow?
You can't just have this sort of glossy marketing overlay to something that underneath is actually quite normal.
Yeah.
You've got to walk the talk a little bit as well. I was asked the other day how close we are to the Honey from the Hive podcast coming into being.
Honey from the Hive.
I'm suspecting still as far away as it was then.
Well, yeah.
No more news then on the Honey from the Hive spin-off podcast. Rich going it alone.
It'd be more of a monologue, wouldn't it? Be a bit of a random.
Some podcasts are a bit of a monologue. I'm not sure I'm so much of a fan of them.
Yeah.
Of a lecture. Well, you could do a TED talk.
You
You could do a TED talk on Honey from the Hive.
Honey from the Hive.
But anyway, that fad has passed, has it? What's the latest fad?
It's still there.
You can do fishing at one point.
I was going to do fishing.
Hunting, shooting and fishing. And then hives. And that's not really hunting, is it? That's definitely farming.
Kind of yeah. It's kind of
husbandry.
Hunting for me, isn't it?
Was any projects on at the moment? Should have rehearsed that because you haven't got any projects. That's a bit of a...
I've got a few things going on.
Well, I finished my sauna building and pool building
project.
Yeah. I've now got all that pretty much finished. Got to think of something else now. Get back to my brewing, I think.
You're going to get back on the brewing? On
the brewing again, yeah. I've now been distracted for this spring and summer to get the pond sorted. Everyone's got to fight everybody off now coming to use it, especially when it comes to the winter.
Yeah, you could have a booking system.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. You can vibe.
I can make a little business out of that, you know.
Vibe coder.
It's quite a lot you can. I could do that. Yeah. Oh, some good examples on vibe coding recently. Self-contained HTML files doing clever little. We talked last week, didn't we, about quick quote price estimators, price band estimators. I knocked one of them up in about a minute on a call talking to someone about it. I said, well, like this, pointed it to their website. Assume you've got loads of good questions to ask about this company's product. Yeah. Produce me a rough and ready price calculator with ranges as the answer. And within a minute, it came up branded as per theirs. It was astonishing. Yeah. So yet another example of what you can do. It's the imagination you almost need. Now, the tools are there.
Yes.
And they're getting better all the time, but there's no point in getting better if you're not asking them the right things.
So Dave Saunas coming.
So we could have the booking scheme. Yeah. Someone was telling me you can charge 30 quid for a sauna for an hour. I thought, I wouldn't pay that.
Per person.
Really?
I think so.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it. I think you've probably got a lake or something, haven't you?
Yeah, probably a bit bigger than my pond. Yeah. But I can't imagine a queue of people up my road waiting to come in and check in to go to my back garden. Well, the ruin the vibe of the back garden, wouldn't it?
But that's just down to a pricing situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's £5, you might get it.
I'm not trying to encourage it, just make this quite clear.
Does that mean I need to take the sign down off the toilet door, though? Yeah. All around town. Cheap sauna.
Cheap sauna, yeah. What with that and last week's discussion about our matching pyjamas, people are going to start wondering where this theme is going. I think we need to do a podcast. Take your mind off such matters. Hello and welcome to another episode of the SME Growth Podcast from Wellmeadow, where every week we try and come up with something interesting or useful for owners and managers of small businesses. And it's me and Rich again, trying to come up with some interesting input for you to prompt you. And this week, I think it's quite a good one. This one, we're in sort of towards the end of World Cup season. I'm trying to think ahead. Recording dates to publication date. I think it's still running.
Did you see, have you seen that whole thing with the two weird looking alien-esque people talking to Trump on the White House lawn? Have you seen this?
No, I have not. No. Alien-esque people.
They're very white-haired.
I need to Google that.
Nordics. If you're into UFO conspiracy theory, which I know you're not, but
no, funny that. No, I'm not.
But they would be probably described as they had these two guys, and all these people are saying this is not AI generated. Picture of Trump on the White House lawn. These two guys in like red army, not like kind of old red suits,
like Confederates,
18th century or something like that,
right?
Or whatever. long blonde hair, really pale skin. And they had a prediction about football. So Portugal are going to win.
All right. Okay. Well, by the time this goes out, we'll know whether they're even still in the competition or not.
They've got Spain, haven't they? Or they had Spain.
You can't do these time-sensitive comments. People might be listening to this at Christmas. Which year? Goodness only knows. Which World Cup?
Exactly. Which World Cup?
Yeah, exactly. Well, in one of the World Cups, Portugal might or might not have been knocked out.
So
France are going to win it anyway.
You reckon?
Well, that's the bookie's favourite. But anyway, we shall see.
So
on the day of recording, we don't know all that stuff.
So we're going to talk about
fans. Triggered by the whole World Cup fever that's going around the world.
And not the heat wave.
Not the heat wave, not the hot air fans or the cold air fans.
So why your biggest fans are your greatest competitive advantage?
Inspired once again by the illustrious publication of the Harvard Business Review. So we're in episode 181, which is a palindrome.
Yeah, true.
And just to show how useless AI is, I asked it to come up with a palindrome relating to either the SME Growth Podcast or Wellmeadow.
Yeah.
And it came up with SME sees SME. I said, hang on, that starts with an S and ends with an E. So how can that be a palindrome? And it said, oh yeah, what is that? So it couldn't come up with anything vaguely appropriate other than refer. Okay. Yeah. We'll go for refer then. Is that a theme? The best it could do. So I'm going to set it to work. I think my credits have run out for June on doing the deep research stuff. So I shall I'll start out, get it to do deep research, a proper palindrome. Tune in next week and I'll see what we come up with.
Wonder what the Latin origin of the word palindrome is.
We could do a bit of etymology as well.
That would be
search that one up.
Interesting. It's the most bizarre podcast.
So they're always bizarre, Rich. This is no different.
Pajama saunas, etymology of the word palindrome.
Yeah.
Which, in case anyone is wondering, means that a word is spelt the same forward as it is backwards.
Oh, I see. We're doing the CBeebies version this week.
Well, I don't mean to patronise anybody. That means to talk down.
Go on then. Tell us about the last two episodes.
So yeah, we're out of darts territory now. We're gonna have to come up with something.
Well and truly, yeah.
Maybe cricket or something. I don't know.
The etymology is from the Greek and it means running backwards, running back again,
like a boomerang.
Yeah. Palin means again or back. Dromos, running.
There we go.
Ta-da.
Very highbrow podcast this is turning into.
Greek,
but just throw a bit of Greek out there.
Yeah. So where would we get to?
178, we talked about Elon Musk's 5-step process at the SME.
And as far as we know, he hasn't listened to the episode yet.
He spoke to me the other day, actually.
Very good. What did he say?
Have you got a tenner I can borrow? No, he's just recruiting me for a secret.
I've just ordered my next company car, which I have to say, shamedly, is another Tesla. 6 months, a year ago, I vowed not to buy another one like a lot of the rest of the country did because he was in his crackpot phase. He's just gone a bit quieter now, hasn't he? And so everybody thinks, oh, well, I need to charge my car up. So I'll go for it.
Pragmatism over principles.
See, now, does that contradict our subject today? Because I am not his biggest fan. But neither am I his competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Interesting. I can sort of respect what he's done in business circles, but bringing his politics into it turns a lot of people off, doesn't it? So anyway, we're not here to talk about Elon Musk again, even though every time you mention that word, it seems to put a little bump into our
they'll be off the list next
figures.
Week.
Yeah, so that was 178.
So that's 178. 179 was the real purpose of company away days. So we talked about, are they worthwhile doing? Are they valuable?
Is it team building? Is it communication? Is it a reward?
Is it a social thing?
Yeah.
And all that. And then we did 180, which was the great SME squeeze. We looked at the different things that are impacting SME businesses and are they...
Customer expectations, cost pressures come from the bottom, employee expectations, regulation. And it was a bit of a sob story, woe is everybody in SME, but we finished with a positive tone to say, actually,
rousing call to action.
There's an awful lot of benefits of being SME, so stop whinging, use some of the opportunities that are available, and knock them dead.
Exactly.
So that brings us to this week then, 181, the palindromic episode. It's going to be a long time, I think, before we... Oh, no, we'll have 191, won't we?
Yeah.
Not that long away. I've got 10 episodes to think of a better palindrome. So why are your biggest fans your greatest competitive advantage? So what was the gist of the HBR article, which, by the way, has always got fantastic photos in it, if nobody reads HBR?
Yeah, I know. I keep meaning to sort of almost cut them out, or I'm sure you can probably buy them online.
I'm sure you can buy them, yeah. They engage artists, don't they?
Just
commission artists.
Maybe put them up around the office or
photographers and so on. So what was its point?
I think the point was really that it was a question around sort of average, just doing the average on a customer service doesn't move the dial at all. You have to
business satisfaction, as in you've met the need.
If you meeting the need is not enough, a 4 out of 5 is not enough to actually move the needle. You need to be hitting those 5 out of 5s across whatever metric you're looking at.
You need a community who are, I think the HubSpot term for this, which I quite like, is advocacy. Are they advocates? And in the settings in HubSpot, we move people through, don't we, from a lead to an opportunity to a customer to an advocate. It's the kind of the pinnacle. And we list, if you look at our system, say who have we got their advocates, ex-clients in there that have retired or whatever, current clients, and people who aren't clients at all. And it's flattering to think that there are people out there that would go quite some lengths to recommend you or put your name out. Yeah, they're the ones, and they've bought in to the message. They know they're not just trying to do you a favor. They really do think that you're doing something special. So that's what you're trying to tap into, isn't it?
It's about creating customers that genuinely love working with you.
I quite like that example they gave. What's it called? The Sunbums or something, which is a brand of sunscreen for people who didn't want to put sunscreen on, surfers and stuff. Yeah. So it's probably a bit like Gymshark. They're trying to go for a little bit of a cheeky word name around it, and then they had competitions where they invited users to send photos in of them using their product on a beach, but they call it "Show Us Your Bum" because it's Sunbum, and it's just that it catches the ear, doesn't it?
Some clever marketing around it, clever positioning.
But beyond, I think, just the clever marketing, they were trying to get a community there that identified weren't currently engaging with their competitors' products. And then the other bit they mentioned, which I think was an especially clever bit, was SMEs again, small retailers who were being squeezed at selling tight margin, generic sunscreen products for not very much. They suddenly came up with this product that commanded a premium so that the retailers were making more out of it as well. So then they were making friends with the retailers who then promoted it better, and then the users did as well. So a lovely little virtuous circle.
Yeah, a little nice little ecosystem there that was created.
Yeah, and in a way, it's back to last week's episode on the SME squeeze. It's a classic example of how SMEs can use the fact that they're small. Because if you're a big corporate and you try and go for a niche community like that, you're going to be seen straight through, right? Yeah. Although Sunbum have now been bought by Johnson & Johnson or someone. But the point is, to build the community, you've got to be seen yourself as small enough to champion.
Well, I think as well, it was a dad, wasn't he, who had four lads that were all surfing and they never wanted to put sun cream on. So the whole thing comes out of a place of purpose and passion, doesn't it?
Yeah. And one of their advertising straplines apparently is, we don't care whether you use our product or not, just use sunscreen. So there's that little bit of you're helping the community, helping each other here, looking after each other. So that was the story they gave. And I thought a great example of how this isn't about cheapest cost or the quickest to quote or the fast delivery. This is about building a community around a message.
Yeah. No, so we thought we'd look at that. And there's also as well, we'll touch on, we're seeing quite a lot of a shift within the HubSpot ecosystem as well, away from customer service to more of a customer success kind of model. Yeah. And I think that's an interesting...
Well, we've heard that phrase a bit now, customer success managers. I don't know how many years that's been more common. They've been around for a long time, but you come across people who have that title now a lot more than you used to. Yeah. Customer success manager, what's that? And the point is, it's everything post-sale, isn't it? Yeah. And that whole experience of being onboarded as a new customer, some people will send a little merch pack out or something. Yeah. Welcome on board. You're now lucky enough to be one of our customers. And this is what we do, and invite you to events. Or certainly to keep an eye on your journey through the experience of receiving the product.
And I think back to what we were talking about last week as well, just the pressures on SMEs. This is a good area. There's so many good areas to focus on. There's so much research done around. If you can, it's 6 times more effective or cost effective or revenue retained or whatever metric you want to put on it to look after your existing customers rather than getting new customers. This is one of those where it's like, okay, well, how do you actually then turn people into advocates?
Yeah, and if you've invested in that relationship, just like in human relationships of non-business types, then you've raised the bar of how much people will tolerate when inevitably every now and again something does go wrong. They're likely to be much more forgiving and even help you to solve it. Because they understand that underlying it all, it's all very well-meaning and it does work and it's worthwhile.
It's relationship-based.
But it can't be. I think this is the point about the sunscreen people and others. You can't just have this sort of glossy marketing overlay to something that underneath is actually quite normal.
Yeah.
You've got to walk the talk a little bit as well. So I remember in the past, we've asked people who've been using us for 15, 20 years sometimes, why do you carry on using us? And it's not the sort of predictable humdrum sort of answer, that, well, someone's got to do it and can't bother to change. You don't get that. You definitely get, do you know what? It really makes a difference here. It makes us sit upright and think. It gives us cross-fertilization of ideas. You make stuff happen. And remember the comments we've had before that sometimes we think that you guys are more passionate than any of our employees that work for us. And that sort of feedback is worth its weight, isn't it? But that's what makes people true advocates. And they'll mention you in the golf club or bar or hairdresser or whatever when they're telling somebody else about your business.
So we came across this in Harvard Business Review, as we previously said.
Which episode? Yeah.
May to June 2026, so it's pretty new. And it's by a gentleman called Marcus Buckingham, who's the co-creator of the Strengths Finder assessment tool.
Right, well, that's you legal sorted then. You've done the credits. Excellent.
So it's all about what companies can learn from their biggest fans. So how your most devoted employees and customers have a lot to teach you about loyalty and performance. I think that's an interesting phrase, a lot to teach you. Are we prepared to learn?
And I reckon that teach bit is if you truly ask the question and properly listen, why do you use us?
Yeah.
Then they may well say things, even if you're sort of expecting it, there may be an edge to it or nuance on that. You think, do you know what, I hadn't quite given that the weighting that you've just given it in your response. You're always there. You answer out of hours. Or I could tell your responses aren't AI. I've had that once before. Yeah. I just know that if I ask you a question and you respond quickly, I know you will have written it yourself. Yeah. And it's those sort of little things. Oh my goodness, there's a bit of authenticity coming through there, or responsiveness, or prepared to go the extra. What is it about that? And try and boil that down to then what you can apply to others.
So there's sort of 5 areas that Marcus went through in terms of what are the ingredients of kind of creating customers who are fans, as it were.
Okay, so rather than just talking about how to use it once they are, he's giving advice on how to get them to be fans. Or what is it that makes a fan different from a non-fan, just a customer?
Yeah, and I think we sort of touched on some of that with that example of the sunbum thing. But the first stage is around control. So
not control of the customer, by the customer.
Yeah, making them feel so
they are in control.
Visibility, removing uncertainty,
transparency of it
all.
Or maybe like we talked about that episode before about the pricing tool. Let people work out for themselves before they, maybe declare who they are. Just get a bit of a feel for how your service works out.
You're just trying to get that early baseline trust in, aren't you? Which we talked about before in terms of trust equation, things like that. But
this is customers in particular. I'm correcting myself here. This isn't that early prospecting stage type of trust and transparency, is it? These are people who are using you maybe regularly. Yeah. How do they see how they see into the inside? What's it looking like? Yeah.
Are you open with them?
What projects have we got on at the moment in our world?
Do they feel suspicious about things, that type of thing? And you're giving them that level of, I suppose, control, maybe. I don't know. It's more like confidence, isn't it, really? Or just that they feel like they're not being taken for a ride type of thing. Yeah. So if people have control, then that helps to make them into advocates.
So a simple customer portal would be a good example of at least letting people have some insight, even if you're not exposing the full internals of your ERP to them. That's a bit extreme. But at least give them access to what is it that we are dealing with for them at the moment, support tickets or projects or something, some sort of shared space, shared Dropbox folders or Teams channels.
Knowledge bases, stuff like that as well, self-serve.
Well, especially if it's a login membership-only area rather than a generic knowledge base that anybody can get.
I think then this does raise some interesting questions around the AI piece. I know we're using an AI chatbot at the moment on the website to answer questions and things, and more people are.
Yeah. But did I tell you that one we had the other day? had somebody come on trying to sell us something from Portugal in Portuguese.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it had come to us. You'd think if you were in Portugal, marketing Europe-wide, you might not choose Portuguese as your mostly commonly understood language, but they did, and so maybe we were on the wrong list. But the customer agent in HubSpot responded to them with quite a long response in Portuguese, which I had to get translated. I didn't understand what it was saying on our behalf. And he responded back again in Portuguese. Oh, thank you very much for considering that. I hadn't taken that point. He was trying to sell us something that we didn't need because we use HubSpot. And he said, oh, yeah, I hadn't taken that angle before. That's really useful. Things like all this stuff in Portuguese, which I translated. So then I thought, well, I can't leave it like that now because he's responded. Yeah. I feel like I need to thank him for his response. But of course, I don't speak Portuguese, so I had to run that through Google Translate and send it off. But anyway, customer agent deals with a lot of that for you.
So the next point then, so that's control. The next point then is harmony. So do you work well together?
Yeah.
Are there any how do you remove friction points?
No, I know one of our regular listeners will be listening again. You know who you are. And the quote you came up with in the last board meeting I was in was that our customers tell us that we're hard to work with. This is the client of mine talking about their customers. Yeah. And it's because they are so flexible and they can almost do whatever the customer asks for, which you'd think was a tremendous virtue. And it does really stand out in the market. They're the leaders of what they do because of their ability to bespoke design and customize and so on. But it's interesting that even though the customers benefit from that high degree of customization and bespoke, their first takeaway was, it's hard to deal with you. And the reaction was one of almost perplexed, well, it's going to be more difficult than just buying a catalog product, isn't it? Because you're asking us to customize everything from dimensions and colors and fittings and all that sort of stuff in the product. So there's going to be, there's an expectation here. But nevertheless, that was the takeaway. It's hard to deal with you.
Well, I suppose it's if you go to a supermarket and there's, 50 different types of beans.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's where Aldi and Lidl do better.
Which one do you pick? And
too much choice.
Too much choice.
Yeah.
There's almost a delay. There's almost, if you actually went through that process rather than, I need some beans, there's a couple of, okay, I'll pick that one over that.
So you can over-customize. You turn up to Sainsbury's, would you like a trolley, sir? Would you like a big trolley? Sure. Do you want squeaky wheel? Not squeaky wheel. Do you like one of these? Do you want a powered one?
That was one of the examples in the article was about, it was an American supermarket chain. And they said, if a shop assistant says, if you said, where's the lettuce? And they just point you to the lettuce type thing. Yeah. That might give you a 4 out of 5. You wouldn't think anything of that. You'd say, well, that's what I expect, right? Show me where lettuce. So, but if they showed you, like, I'll show you, sir, here's the lettuce. You can see how fresh they are.
They take you to the lettuce.
They twist the top and it squeaks. There's the lettuce squeak test or something.
Right. They taught you a bit about lettuce selection.
You might come away from that thinking, you know what, I never knew that before. That's something I can, So then you get a 5 out of 5 for those sort of interactions.
That'd be a 6 out of 5. Taking me to the lettuces, but I'd do 5 out of 5.
So it's
teaching me how to test the freshness of a lettuce.
So
I've learned something.
Those little things that you think, well, they're actually...
Yeah. The other thing that comes up with this, and it's a point we've written down here, is joined up teams. And we've been working really, really hard on this because we do make sure that all of our email interactions and meeting notes and so on are all shared into HubSpot, no matter who of our team has communicated. Now, don't get me wrong, there's no way I'm going to read everybody's emails. I haven't got the time. I've got barely enough time to read my own. But because you're giving that to an AI engine, you can then ask it, just as you go into your next meeting, what should I be prepared for? Yeah. And it ultimately serves up, doesn't it? Some meeting prep notes based on everything that's happened.
Very good.
Pretty clever.
It's a very good summary. And simple processes as well. Don't over-engineer, which is maybe back to that Elon Musk episode 80, whatever it was.
Oh, the 5 steps and all that. Yeah. Get rid of the ridiculous requirements.
Yeah.
Delete stuff you don't need.
So control, giving customers control, harmonious working. So the third point then is on significance.
Yeah.
So
making them feel significant.
Yeah. Making them feel known, and that
this is hard to do at scale, which is why I think people can smell an automated email a mile off. But if you're good at it, you can at least send the appropriate stuff to the right people. You get too much, we get it all the time, don't you? People trying to flog you products that clearly you're not interested in, and you don't feel. But with customers, as opposed to prospects, you should already know enough about them, surely. So making sure that, especially those, if you do monthly email communications or something to them, then you're not sending them stuff that they're not going to be interested in. Yeah. Don't sell them something they've already got, or if they've got a competitor product that they're happy with. So there's certainly a bit of that around that. And
it's interesting pointing out that some things like CRM it's not just about the data, it's about the relationship, which is it's the clues in the name, isn't it,
Mm.
really?
Customer data management.
But it's often easy to just look at a CRM as data points rather than what's the relationship here? How do we...
We've talked before, haven't we, how we use it to come up with the sentiment of a customer and alert us to when nothing's been complained about, it's just going a bit flat.
Yeah.
There's just an opportunity to G it up a bit and go and surprise the client with a bit more of a nice outcome rather than just deliver what they expect.
Indeed. So that's the significance beat. So we want to make people feel like they're in control, that we're working together well, that they're significant. And then the fourth point was warmth. And this is around remembering that business relationships are still human.
Do you know what I did the other day on this one?
What did you do?
I sent a photo of my Dutch pajamas to my Dutch client, commiserating them with having been knocked out of the World Cup. I will reassure listeners, I wasn't wearing the pajamas at the time. I sent a photo of them hanging up in the bar where we got them from. As you remember telling in a previous episode, we got them for the price of 2 pints of Guinness. No, Heineken. But I thought, there you go. I'm just showing I've got empathy. You've just been knocked out of the World Cup. I'm going to acknowledge that.
Well, I think
we
as
feel
well,
your pain.
on that point, isn't it? That not that we, were special because we went to Amsterdam to actually meet them, but actually sitting around a table all day talking about it.
Oh, we could do a whole episode on that. Meeting face to face versus online.
That strengthens relationships, it builds trust, it does all those little things.
You don't get the children's names where they're going to holiday, what career they had before, what they think of the current company, all that stuff that happens in the coffee breaks, which builds that relationship, which is that warmth.
And the small interactions, isn't it? I'll make you that coffee, I'll get you that water, all that.
Well, I think I think some companies almost prefer to keep it on screen because it deliberately removes this relationship bit, so they can just move on quickly and it's transactional. That's the exact opposite of what you want to be doing. You want everybody in your company to feel as if they want to meet their clients. They want to spend time with them, not that they're annoying and they're in the way and they want to get back to their emails.
Well, it talks about as well, great customer success teams create emotional loyalty. And I'm thinking, how do you do that in an authentic way that doesn't come across as Machiavellian or some sort of NLP type of...
Well, I'm thinking, how do you scale it? Because if you're an entrepreneur and you're naturally at the sales end of the spectrum of how you spend your time, then you probably like the idea of building relationships and enjoying spending time with people, and you don't mind a bit of the small talk and the context. But not everybody who works for you is going to feel the same way. No. Not everybody enjoys that. They want to have a much more clearly defined route of how I deliver value and then move on to the next one. Yeah. And they don't want to be distracted in the where you're going on holiday stuff. And so if that's valued by the customer, and it isn't always, I get that, but if it is, how do you scale that to your whole team when they're not all that way? I suppose you've got to find someone else who is like that. Maybe back to your customer success manager that we talked about. Yeah,
exactly. Horses for courses, isn't it?
And you know what? There's 2 or 3 companies we procure services from on a regular basis where I know for a fact that we have a customer success manager. Our telephone company, our graphic designers, and others. And I won't single out which ones of all of them there are, but some of those companies where I have a customer success manager, I don't hear from one year to the next.
No.
And when I've asked one of them about that before, they say, well, unless there's a problem, we don't ring you up. We manage by exception.
Yeah.
Well, really? Why would...
It's not really success then, is it?
No, if you're interested in my success, are you waiting till I threaten to leave first? Because that's revenue protection, right? That's not customer success. Why aren't they ringing me up at least once a year, twice a year, just to say, is there anything else we can do for you? Not, you haven't complained yet, but what else could we be doing? Or how could we be better? Are you okay? Is your business growing? You good? So are we. Good luck in the football. Just build that relationship. I have no physical relationship. I don't have any direct contact, back to the pajamas again. I have no relationship at all with the people who run that business because the people who, our team works with their team, sort of thing. Yeah. My people speak to your people. So anyway, if you're going to have a customer success manager, don't just treat it as another word for complaints manager. Yeah. Do something proactive. What do you know about? Maybe test your customer success manager for the top 10 customers. What do you know about them? Yeah. How their business is going at the moment. What do you really know about their market? If we were to ever come across an opportunity that might suit one of our customers, How would we push it their way?
Yeah.
We're doing that all the time to our customers, don't we?
Yeah.
We ring them up and say, oh, I heard about this thing. That might be, or can I put you in touch with someone else I know?
Yeah.
The banks used to do that brilliantly well.
Yeah.
I didn't choose a bank based on who gave the best free banking.
Yeah.
Or the cheapest business banking. It was who organised the best drinks events in town and introduced you to the other businesses.
People that could, yeah.
Ran to I think you were on a 1 in 5 when you got to 4 before I interrupted.
Well, 4 was warmth, as you just heard.
Which I may have a view about.
Passionate about that. And then the 5th was growth. So you just touched on that. Are customers growing through their involvement with you? How are you helping them achieve outcomes? How are you helping them grow? So again, back to that, if you've got that relationship and that warmth and you're working together, when you come across opportunities, you're more likely to say, there's something here for you. Can I put you in touch with so-and-so? Can I?
And I'm thinking another example of that is where we're dealing with someone in the automotive sector at the moment, and we're dealing at a marketing level, and we're helping them with marketing, which is fine. In HubSpot, we do a bit of that. But I could tell that further up the hierarchy, there was a commercial officer who having had just a couple of interactions with, I realised I could offer a lot of value to. The sort of discussions I was having had started to hit home. Yeah. And gradually we've manoeuvred the relationship to include that person. And now we're offering so much more value than we did before. I mean, 10 times more value to the point where we're being introduced to sister companies and other people in the. So you've suddenly unlocked something because you just saw an opportunity to improve how you could help their business more. Not charge more. We don't charge anymore. Yeah. But we help them a lot more. Yeah. Growth. Okay, so they're the 5 things.
So the 5. So
control, harmony, significance, warmth, and growth.
Yeah.
It's not even a palindrome.
No.
Do it again.
Yeah, it seems like it needs a vowel. It needs a vowel in there, doesn't it? Really?
It's not very memorable. Just no, that's not a palindrome, is it? That's an abbreviation or an acronym. What's the difference between an acronym and an abbreviation?
Abbreviation is just a shortening, isn't it?
Right. An acronym
stands for something, doesn't it? Each letter stands for another word.
So the initials is an acronym. Abbreviation is just the first few letters.
Sure.
Okay, got it.
There we go.
Thank you. So that's what they're talking about.
Yeah. And just quickly, as a quick addendum, be rude not to, we're seeing a lot of this now translate into actual real world stuff within HubSpot. I think historically we've seen that HubSpot was a lot more like the service module was very tickety based and
ticket based,
ticket management, that type of thing. Whereas the shift recently, the last couple of years, maybe much more to customer success. And I think this is where the AI is coming into its own, because just like you said before, able to read all those emails, come up with sentiment, get insights much, much quicker and earlier into whether or not, sentiment in emails is changing.
Well, and that prompt in meeting prep. Just better a meeting, click this button and it'll tell you what's been going on recently, where the pain points are. Absolutely brilliant. Imagine if you could offer that now to customers, chief execs. Would you want to do that, or sales directors? Yeah, I'd want that. Yeah. Well, you've probably got it already in your system. You just haven't turned it on. You haven't started using it.
So rather, I suppose it's a shift in mindset, isn't it? From seeing service as something that's a reactive problem.
Deal with a complaint.
To a proactive revenue function within the business.
Yeah. If you solve an interesting problem for one customer, then obviously without betraying confidences, you can anonymize the general learning. Why not share that with your other customers that might benefit? That's a simple thing to do, but a lot of people don't do it. So we need more advocates. We need more fans. We need a fan base. Build a community. I still think we should sort out merch, We got reward for, there's nothing quite nicer. When I was at HubSpot House recently for one of their big summits, came away with a branded T-shirt.
Didn't you? You should wear it.
I've been wearing it in the garden and out and about. It's actually very nice, embroidered, tasteful. It's not got huge branding all over it. Very, very subtle, tiny little brand on the sleeve. Nicely done.
We can get some Wellmeadow merch, Wellmeadow T-shirts.
Yeah, but not just white T-shirt with the logo written on it. It's just crass. Yeah. Oh no, they would go a lot more. Our faces coming out the front. It might, a meme on that one. Okay, good. Thank you very much. Good choice of article, Mr. Buckle. Yeah. Good. Always worth having a browse through the Harvard Business Review. Anyone would think that we're sponsored by them. We're not. We just enjoy the publication. And we need to thank them for some good ideas for what to talk about.
Yeah, and I would encourage anyone listening get yourself a subscription to Harvard
You
Business
can't do that. Otherwise, we'd have to charge them sponsorship.
That is true.
Anyway.
Take it back. Edit that out.
Yeah. Thank you again for listening to another episode of the SME Growth Podcast from Wellmeadow. Hopefully you found something interesting there, and it tickled a few thoughts for you to share with the rest of your team to really wonder whether your customer success end of the business is doing its job. If you think that's been useful for somebody else, please pass it on. And in the meantime, good luck with your business.